Good evening, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'll just admit people as they still log on. But just a few housekeeping rules. I did mute everyone as you came into the Zoom workshop. That's just so myself and when our presenters are speaking, we don't have the interference with everyone else's mics being on. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. There will be times throughout the presentation for you to be able to ask questions. So I'm going to start with just a little information about Harvest Connection and our purpose, and then you will get to hear from a few of our Harvest Connection members. We have Val Levine from Brox. We have Annie Metzger from Laughing Earth Farm, and then we have Steve, who is the manager of the Troy Waterfront Farmers Market. So after each presenter, we will open the floor for questions. I am going to let you guys know that we are recording the meeting tonight. Our plan is to use this for future Cornell Cooperative Extension and Harvest Connection programs. So if you do not want your face or your name to be shown, feel free to stop your screen recording. So there is a little camera that you can click and that will turn your camera off. And you feel free to change your name as well if you so choose. So with that being said, hi everyone, my name is Kayla Statham and I am the 4-H and Adult Agriculture Extension Educator with Cornell Cooperative Extension in Rensselaer County. So with my job, I get to work a lot with our youth. So I work with our 4-H youth directly, but I also can go in schools for our in-school programs. Unfortunately, there isn't much going into schools now due to COVID-19, but we are still doing what we can to provide for those youth. And then on the adult ag side, I get to work with farmers in our area, and I am a part of the Harvest Connection team. So I get to put programs such as this on for you guys. So I'm excited to go through the Harvest Connection website briefly with you guys. So the goal of Harvest Connection is to connect consumers to local products. So what we see here, I'm sharing my screen so you guys will see our homepage for Harvest Connection, which our goal is farm fresh from the capital region. So we want to connect you guys to these local products. So the cool thing about Harvest Connection is if you come down here, you can search. So for example, say I was looking for dairy and eggs, and then you can pick if you are looking for a farmer's market, a farm, or let's just say I'm not picky. So I am I'm okay with items from both of those. It is going to use my location and it's going to pull up those farms. Right now they're in alphabetical order that are closest to me. What you can do is you can also put in your zip code. So say you were looking for items somewhere else that weren't directly around you, but maybe for like a weekend in the future, you can also use that as well. One other thing you can do, if I take us back to the homepage, so say you aren't really sure, like you aren't looking for a specific item like a craft beverage or dairy and eggs or fiber products, and you don't care if they come from a farmer's market or a farm. What you can do is go to the very top of the page, and there's this bar right here that says see all farms and farmers markets. So if I click that, that is going to take you guys to the entire list of our farms in alphabetical order. So if you're looking for a specific one, you can, if you know what it starts with, you can click here. Now our website isn't going to contain every single farmer's market throughout the capital region. That is our goal, to get as many as possible to become a part of Harvest Connection. So as they agree to be a part of it, then they will slowly start to show up here. This platform is free for our farmers to be a part of, and it is free for consumers to use. So let's say you have a question. What we have here on our Ask a Farmer portion of our website is just some of the common questions that our farmers might get. Now, if you don't see one of the questions that you may have, you can easily just type here on the sides. You don't see what you're looking for, put here in the question box, put in your email, click the I am not a robot and submit, and we will get your question. So moving on to local resources. Here we just try to keep a couple of items for consumers as well. So some tips on home food preservation. We'll update this every season. So we'll talk about what's in season, some of the farmers markets and CSAs, greenhouses and nurseries. We just try to kind of keep this updated with different information that we think might be interesting to consumers. So moving right along, we've got the contact us page. So again, just put your name, your email address. You do not have to put your phone number, that is optional, and then your comment or your question and send that to us. So we are happy to answer any questions that you guys may have, and also where our office is located. Our office is currently closed to the public, so if you had any questions or felt the need to stop by, please give us a call first, and we would be able to have someone meet you at the door of our building. So moving on to about our farms, you've got your overview. Let's see. So this just kind of takes you into a little bit about Harvest Connection and our farms and just some tips throughout farming in the capital region. You can also go into where you can find us and what's in season as well over here on the side. We also have a news option. So we do try to send out monthly newsletters, e-newsletters. So you can sign up for those as well, and I will show you how to do that in a second. But some of that information we will also feature on this page. So for example, one of our team members did an interview with Forfat Fowl. So just some information about them. And then our Harvest Connection app, which I will also mention in a minute. The Find Farm Fresh option just takes you back to the homepage of Harvest Connection, where you can either search for, see all farms and farmers markets, or looking for a specific product at a farm or a farmer's market. And then we also have our recipes portion. So one of the cool things about finding farm fresh products is finding things that you can use those in. So we have tried to create a database as well of different recipes that you can use for some of the items that you might search for on Harvest Connection. We don't have as many right now, but we are working on filling this part of our website up. So if I take you back to the home page and scroll down for you guys, you see Featured Farm. So Featured Farm or Farmers Market just kind of gets changed every couple of weeks and is just a way to kind of highlight our farms and farmers markets and would take you directly to that farm or farmers market page within Harvest Connection. Same thing down here for recipe ideas, just a few of them to highlight that you can easily click on. And if you move down here, you've got Ask a Farmer. So that'll take you to the tab where I showed you, where it's got a couple of the most common questions, as well as a way for you to ask your own questions. The latest news, I did show you guys that webpage as well. And then earlier I mentioned that we send out a well, not weekly, we try to send it out monthly e-newsletter to consumers just to kind of keep you guys updated with events that any of our farmers are doing, programs that we think you guys might be interested in. We don't want to load up your email, but we do try to send that out to you guys. So if you were interested in receiving that newsletter, you can click the sign up button right here. And it'll take you to this page where you fill in your email address, and we will get that information to add you to that newsletter. And if you scroll down to the very bottom, this just kind of explains to you what Harvest Connection is. It tells you the counties that we spread across. So again, it's just the capital region. So Albany, Columbia, Greene, Rensselaer, Saratoga, Schenectady, and Washington counties. Again, our office location and those quick links that I showed you guys earlier and ways to connect with us. We do have a Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube account. So that would take you guys to those. And we do try to update our Facebook and our Instagram page a lot with, we'll share things that our Harvest Connection farmers are sharing with you guys and things like that. So one last thing, I was just going to show you guys directly what one of our farm pages look like. So again, I click the tab right at the very top, search all farms and farmers markets. Let's just say I wanted to look for something at 9J Organic Farm. So this is what every farm's page is going to look like. Some will have a couple of pictures, some may even have their logo. It tells you where you can find them. We do have them to have our farms go in and edit their hours by themselves. But so a way that you can contact them by phone or email, and then a little bit about their operation and what you can find at their farm. So as always, before going to a farmer's market or someone's farm stand, we definitely recommend calling or sending an email to say, hey, are you guys open? Are these hours correct? What do you have at this time? So that is Harvest Connection. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. A great way to connect you guys to local farm fresh products. One thing I do want to go ahead and mention is that we do have an app as well that is free to download for Android and iOS devices. So it's kind of the same setup. It'll use your location to find those farms near you. So you can do the whole, I'm looking for dairy and eggs or holiday items and then select if you're looking for a farmer's market or a farmer if you are not picky, and it'll use your location from your phone to pull up those places that are closest to you. If you do decide to download our app, there are parts of the app that mention recipes and an events page, and they do say coming soon. Our plan is to get those filled up with recipes, and as events come into us and as farmers post them, we will add that to those pages as well. But I definitely recommend the app for on-the-go use.
Kayla, can I just indicate that we did have a comment in the chat that they could not see your screen. Of course, you've stopped sharing your screen at this point. I know you gave a little basic instruction from everybody when you first got on. I'm not sure some of your guests are going to be sharing their screens, but please, we'll keep an eye on the chat. If anybody else is having any technical difficulties, we'll try to coach you quietly through it.
Awesome, thanks, Bernie. Were you able to see my screen? Just to make sure that, okay, perfect. Okay, does anyone have any questions about Harvest Connection, the app, or the website? And that's okay if you don't have anything now. I will put my email down in the chat box as well. So if you do not want to unmute yourself, feel free to put something in the chat box or just send me an email separately, and I would be happy to answer any questions. With that being said, I'm going to move into our first presenter, which is Val Levine.
Hello, you ready for me, Kayla?
I am ready for you.
All right, let's see. I've never done this share screen thing before, so let's make sure we can do this here. All right. So my name is Val Levine. I am from Unk Rock Incorporated in Schaghticoke, New York. So I'm going to just start by telling you guys a little bit about our farm and the things that we've done to diversify throughout the years, because unfortunately these are the times where diversity is very important throughout agriculture. So my parents are a first generation dairy farm. Let's see. There we go. So this is our farm. We're in Schaghticoke, New York. We are right on the Hoosick River, which presents different environmental challenges as well. But it can't get more picturesque than this. So anyways, this is just basically where I'm coming to you from. I am on the farm with my family, my parents, Unc and Chris, my husband, Greg, and our 3 children. Nora and Sadie are 5-year-olds in kindergarten, and Owen will be 3 in just a few short months. The girls have a heart for all animals, things like that. And Owen is our equipment guy. Anything with a motor and wheels, he is right at attention. Can't wait to go ride in the equipment in the fields, things like that. So we are really hoping to provide a great future for these guys here on the farm. So that's what we work to do every day. So we started out as a dairy farm. We still are a dairy farm. Our milk goes to Cabot cheese, and Cabot makes other dairy products also, but sorry about the quality of this picture isn't very good, but this picture here on the left is actually looking down inside of our dairy barn, and it's actually, you can see all the cows eating. And then just a couple pictures of our fine ladies on the right here that enjoyed posing for pictures. And of course, where there's dairy cows, there is adorable babies to see. So here's a couple pictures of our little calves out in their hutches. So one of the things that we've done to diversify our farm is we've started offering farm fresh beef. We sell it by the piece here at the farm by appointment, and we also will sell whole steers and half steers as well. So that's just one of the many things that I will talk to you about, how we've diversified over the years to provide farm fresh products to the capital region. Kayla, is my internet connection okay? Okay. It's being weird on my end, so I'm just worried that it's not going through right.
Nope, everything seems fine on my end, Val.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So another thing that we've done to diversify is we run a herd of goats. We have about 50 females that we have all the time, pets. We do a little bit of goat milk, not for human consumption, but for goat milk, soap, things like that. And we've actually started raising buck kids for different holiday markets. They usually don't stay very local, though, unfortunately, at this point in the game. But it is one of the side businesses that we have started. So you'll see on the bottom is how I feed all our babies. They're actually we actually reuse a kitty litter pail and put a nipple bar into it with tubes going down so that they can basically drink their milk out of straws. And they're quite funny when they get going. They get their tails going, and they are quite an entertaining sight to see. So the goats are pretty near and dear to my heart, and my girls have actually started showing goats at the fair, so that's really exciting for me, as I grew up showing goats at the fair as well. Another thing that we've done to diversify is we raise now between 800 and 1,000 turkeys a year to sell farm fresh on our farm and at a couple local markets. So we also live right on the river. We have some eagles and things like that, predatory birds, predatory animals that like to prey upon our turkeys. So they are in fact pasture raised, but they have the safety of their coops and the safety of their fence to keep things out, because we do run into problems with things trying to get them. So this is our way of keeping them safe and happy and healthy. And we actually move them every day or two throughout the field so that they're granted access to fresh grass and bugs and things like that. They also get all the grain and water that they want through these as well. Also diversifying, we have a small flock of chickens that we do some farm fresh eggs with as well. Here's a few pictures of some of my favorite ladies. This is also a project that the kids work on with me as well. They enjoy collecting eggs and doing things like that. And a non-animal technically related venture that our farm has ventured out into the past, I guess it's been 7 or 8 years now. We've actually started the Farmer's Feed Bunk, which is a division of our farm. And the Farmer's Feed Bunk is a catering company and food truck. So we have 2 food trucks that we do all sorts of local events with. We have food truck menus that we serve out of them. We go to the fairground, Scotticoke Fairgrounds, some local horse shows. We do normal, just hired for private events, things like that. And we've also branched out into catering parties, weddings, just orders of I'm having a birthday party, I want to order cupcakes and something for food, things like that. So we are named the Farmer's Feed Bunk because all things farm related are good with us. So another one of our little ventures. And my most recent venture is on social media and doing promotion. I have basically branched out from our farm Facebook page and started my own influencer Instagram and Facebook account called Dairy Gal Val, where you can follow me and learn about life on the farm, different tidbits about my life, general dairy and farming related information, things like that. One of the things that I do a lot is Myth Busting Mondays, where I take a common farm myth and talk about it and talk about why it is a myth and not an actual truth. So I'm really enjoying doing that, working on a few collaborations coming up with that with some local not-for-profits and businesses, and it's so far so fun. So here are the different ways that you can follow us on social media. The general farm page is at the top. The farm page and the food truck page are both on Facebook, and Dairy Gal Val is on Instagram and Facebook if anyone is interested in following us. And with that, I thank you guys all for being a part of Harvest Connection, for your interest in it. We as local farmers really appreciate your support and the support that we're getting from Cornell Cooperative Extension for this program, because it is just giving us more outlets to be able to find ways to sell our product locally and to people who really care where their products come from. And that is a pleasure for us as farmers to have happy customers that are knowing where their food comes from and have that connection with it. So again, thank you guys so much for having me. If there's any questions, I'd love to answer them. And if you think of something after tonight, you can always reach out to me on one of the social media outlets that I have provided for you. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Val.
Can I ask a question?
You can.
So Val, tell me, and maybe I wasn't paying attention and I hate to admit that, what likely kind of product could we find your milk in our groceries or local markets?
Yep, so I did briefly mention it, Bernie, but I'll mention it again because I'm a very proud Cabot farmer. Our milk goes to Cabot cheese and Cabot yogurt, Cabot whipped cream. So that's where you can support our local, that's where you can support our farm by buying Cabot in the grocery stores, because that is a brand that supports our dairy. So.
Great.
What county are, I'm sorry, what county are you located in? I'm new to the area, so I'm trying to figure it all out.
No worries. We are in Scotticoke, so we are in northern Rensselaer County.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And if anyone is looking for our products, reach out to us first. Our little farm store is only available by appointment at this point. Hopefully, we will have set hours in the future. It's one of the things that we are working towards. So. Let's see, there's one. Kayla in the chat box had asked, can we buy goat milk for our own soap making? It's something that I would consider doing. If you wanted to reach out to me privately, we can have a discussion on that, and definitely if we can't provide you with what you're looking for, we could help you find someone that could. So. Thank you for your ad, Megan. And Bernie, I'm well aware that you are a very large fan of our ginger cookies. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Val.
Thank you, guys.
Does anyone else have any other questions for Val? And again, if you don't have any right now, you can put them in the chat, or like Val mentioned, you can feel free to shoot her a message on one of the social media platforms that she shared. So up next, we have Annie with Laughing Earth Farm.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for taking the time to join us tonight. Hang on, I'm just sharing my screen. It doesn't want to let me share it. Of course, we did this earlier and it worked just fine, Kayla. And now it's saying no thanks. Okay, share and then present. So my name is Annie Metzger and my farm is Laughing Earth, which is in Brunswick, New York, which is also Rensselaer County, just south of Schaghticoke. So if you're in Troy and you head east towards Massachusetts, you will drive right past my farm. My partner, my husband, Zach, and I have been at Laughing Earth since 2013, and we've owned it. At that point, it was called Homestead Farms, and it was owned by Rich and Linda Bolson, if anyone's a local and knows them. And we were able to sort of take over from them so they could retire. And we bought the farm in 2016 and changed the name to Laughing Earth. Our farm is also pretty diverse, just like Val's is. And let me go. So this is what we grow on our farm. We grow vegetables, chickens, turkeys, pigs, flowers, and cattle. But what we like to say is that our most important thing that we grow is community. And it sounds, sure, that sounds a little cheesy, but that's really at the heart of what we do. Is we want people to know where their food comes from in a really deep sense, not just, oh, look, there's food growing in a field, but also I know the person who grew it, and I know I can go and visit the land that grew it and get to know the soil, you know. So it's a little bit deeper than that, than just, oh yeah, sure, I know that vegetables grow in a garden. So I'll go through all the different things that we grow. So our vegetables, the vast majority of the 8 acres of vegetables that we grow all go to what's called our farm share program. On some farms that's called a CSA, but we go for farm share because it's a little bit more intuitive. So what it means is that someone pays upfront to become a member of the farm for a season. And then they come every week, or in the winter it's every other week, and get whatever vegetables we have available, their share of whatever vegetables we have available. So for the summer season, from June through October, we have 120 families that come. And in a given week, you know, if it's peak tomato season and we harvest, you know, 800 pounds of tomatoes, or I can't do the math there, but you know, that means that everybody could go home with 8 pounds of tomatoes in their share if they wanted to. We found out pretty quickly that most people don't really want to take home 8 pounds of tomatoes every week for every week of August. And so we do partner with our local Brunswick food pantry, and we have a volunteer who comes and picks up our extras and takes them over there if it's a little bit too much bounty for our community. But in general, it's a great way to get a wide diversity of vegetables into the hands of families that live in our community, because all of our members come to the farm to pick up. So that means that they have to be local enough that they're willing to make the drive out here once a week. And at this point, we have some sort of CSA share from May 1st through March 1st this year. So we don't really have anything in March or April, but we're working on extending the season around the year. We're building more hoop houses all the time and building more storage infrastructure, so we can, right now we're doing a CSA of storage crops where people are getting, potatoes and onions and carrots and all sorts of things like that. We're also trying to scale up a little bit so we can serve more people, because in the winter we're only able to serve about 30 families, but in the summer we can do 120, as I said. So we're trying to enlarge our community and feed more people a larger percentage of their diet. But we have a lot of room to grow in that aspect. So then on to the protein side of the equation, the meat side of the farm. We do several different kinds of poultry. We have chickens for meat, chickens for eggs, and also turkeys. I don't think I have any pictures of the turkeys, but this page has a sort of a collage of pictures showing meat chickens as chicks, meat chickens in their pasture pens, and then some hens on pasture. They're sort of similar to what Val was saying with her turkeys, where the hens get moved to fresh pasture. Their whole wagon gets moved twice a week from, during the pasture season. And the broilers, the meat chickens, get moved to fresh pasture every single day. I think I have a brief video, let's see if it works, of broiler chickens they've just been moved to their fresh grass for the day. It's pasture with lots of clover, which they love. So those guys are, they're very young chicks. So you can see they look a little bald in spots. Broiler chickens tend to grow, their bodies grow faster than their feathers can keep up. So when they're in that, they're awkward teenagers is what it is. And they're really awkward. They're not the prettiest of chickens, but they grow really fast, especially when you give them really good grass and clover, and they taste delicious. Sorry if anyone's upset by me saying that, but these guys, they have a good life. We only raise the meat chickens from May through October, because that's when we have good pasture and that's when they can be outside. And then for the rest of the year, we usually just have frozen chicken available, because we don't want to raise chicken. We don't want to compromise on the quality, either the quality of their life or the quality of the meat. So we just have them outside during the time when it's fun for a chicken to be outside. And they're in these low coops that have no floor. So then we move it forward every single day and they get a fresh section of pasture. But as Val alluded to with her turkeys, there are a lot of things that really like to eat poultry. So these guys do not have the natural instincts of like a laying hen. If any of you have hens in your backyard and you've seen them run and take cover when there's a hawk above, these guys don't know how to do that. They're really not very bright. So we just keep them always with a roof and walls so that things can't eat them, because otherwise there wouldn't be any left for us to eat. So that's our meat chickens. Oh, nope, that did not move on. There we go. And then on to pigs. We also raise pigs on the farm, and we strive to do what's called farrow to finish, which means that we have the parents, the mom pigs and the dad pig, on the farm and breed them, and then the babies are born here, and then we raise them up until they're the right size for meat, and then we send them to the butcher. Sometimes we have to buy in piglets if our sows, which are the mom pigs, if they don't have as many babies as we expect. Sometimes we have extras and we're able to sell the piglets, but that doesn't happen very often. So right now we just have one boar, which is the dad pig, and then a rotating cast of characters for the mom pigs. And we did just have, if any of you already follow us on social media, you'll know that we did just have a litter of pigs born last week or the week before. And we have one more sow that we're waiting to have her babies. So that'll be exciting when that happens. So these guys are also on pasture for as much of the year as we can manage. So it's usually May through October or November. And then for the other months, they live in a barn, which I should have included a picture of, but I didn't, that my husband Zach built for us, where we have the pigs in half the barn and our laying hens in the other half of the barn for the winter. And it's got half of the roof is made of plastic so that it's like a greenhouse in there. So it gets really good solar gain and it heats up on a sunny day, and it's really lovely. This collage of pictures, for those of you who can see it, also includes one picture of my daughter from, probably 3 or 4 years ago when she was quite small. We also have a 7-year-old that we're raising. So, you know, she's as wild as the rest of the farm animals. I don't think she's chosen which farming venture she wants to be in charge of yet. She certainly doesn't like the laying hens, but we shall see. So I think next I have a little video of Merlot nursing her piglets. This is from last fall, I think. So Merlot is one of our sows. And those piglets are probably a day old. They're probably not very old, those piglets. I'm saying a day old because I can see that some of them, their ears are still back against their heads, which is how they are when they come out. And then after a couple days, their ears, or really even just one day, their ears perk right up. And they're so incredibly cute. But so that's Merlot. She's the one we're actually waiting for her to have her babies right now. So hopefully she does soon. I'm trying to get past it. There we go. So then I have a video of pigs that are a little bit bigger, and this is them in the winter barn. When we don't have pasture for them, we give them huge quantities of hay, both to eat and to sleep in. And pigs do actually eat grass. They really do. And they like good hay, and they like to play in it. It's one of their greatest joys. So here's just a little video of that. I don't know how the sound was on that, but I could hear very well chickens in the background, because as I mentioned, the hens are in half of the winter barn and the pigs are in the other half. So it's always very loud in there with all of the hens doing their thing and roosters crowing, all that good stuff. On our next venture that we have is flowers. This has been sort of my thing the last 6 years. I've been pretty much solely responsible for it. So I grow cut flowers that we sell at the Troy Waterfront Farmers Market from usually sometime in June through the end of October with fresh flowers. And then I try to have dried flowers available for the balance of the year. I don't have any pictures of the dried flowers here, but I have an old barn here where I can hang flowers in the rafters and then make bouquets from the ones that dry well through the whole rest of the year. I've been known to do weddings, and the big image here is from a bride's bouquet that I made. I don't really like to do weddings because I'm not really a people person, and brides can be a lot. I much prefer to just grow the flowers, cut the flowers, and then send them all down to market. And my husband Zach is the people person, and he sells them at the market. He does a great job with the sales. And then I don't even have to see the people. I just get the beautiful flowers. So they're a nice little, we do that because it's a good draw for our farmers market stand, but also they're a wonderful source of food for all of the pollinators that we desperately want to have on our farm. It's a really important part of any farm ecosystem to have all the different kinds of pollinators you can get. And including birds, not just insects, but birds also. And then I leave a lot of the flowers standing after the frost in the fall, and then all their seeds are also available for the creatures, the birds and the insects and the rodents and all those things. It's a really good habitat for all of them. So I love to contribute to all the little animals in that way as well. And then the last venture we have, which is new in the last few years, is beef. So right now we're buying stocker cows from a local farmer who's also here in Brunswick. We get them, you know, weaned or yearling calves, and then we raise them up on our pastures and sell them either in our self-serve farm store that's open every day of the week here at our farm, or we do them custom, so people can buy an eighth or a quarter or a half or a whole cow from us, where they buy it ahead of time, and you know, we tell the butcher how they want it to be cut up, and then they get it back as a box of beef with all the cuts that they want in it. We also do the custom with our pork, which I only talked about the pigs, I didn't talk about the meat. But the pork is also available same way, you know, self-serve here at the farm store, or custom. You can pre-order a quarter, a half, or a whole hog for spring or fall. The beef is only available in the fall. The pork, though, is also available at the Troy Farmers Market. We just haven't gotten there with the beef yet. We don't have enough production to serve that market as well. And then, as I said, what we really think is the most important thing that we grow is community. We really try hard to bring a diverse cast of characters to the farm, to help them get to know this space and each other, but then also to reach out into the wider community, you know, working with Cooperative Extension to try to do educational programs, or, you know, I'm always willing, anytime our librarian from our local Brunswick library calls me and asks me to do a program at the library, I can't say no to her. She's so wonderful. I'm always happy to do that sort of thing, because farmers are, I think we're only 2% of the population in this country, and yet we feed everyone in this country. I kind of think we're pretty important. And so I like to talk about what we do, because I think it's great for people to know more about the true cost of their food and what it really takes to grow food that is good for people to eat, and good for the land that grows it, and good for the animals, if it's meat that we're talking about, we're good for the animals in the local ecosystem, you know, that it's not damaging to those things. So that's why I really try to have that focus on growing community. So here's all of our contact information. You can follow me on Facebook or Instagram if you want to. Our website has more information if you want to find out more, or you can always just email me. I'm okay at answering emails. I won't say I'm the best ever. So let me exit this so that I can stop sharing my screen so I can see if anybody has any questions for me. So like Val said, I'd like to say thank you to Cooperative Extension. Thanks for putting this program together. I think it's great. Any way that you guys can help us reach more people always makes me very happy. That's all from me.
Thank you so much, Annie. Does anyone have any questions for Annie at this time? And again, if you think of something later, you can always put it in the chat box, or you can contact Annie directly.
Thank you.
Okay, hearing no questions, we have our last presenter, Steve, who is the manager of the Troy Waterfront Farmers Market.
Hi, everybody. So where to start, really? I mean, you know, everybody around here in Rensselaer County knows about the Troy Waterfront Farmers Market. We've been around for 20 years now, and have grown from the riverfront, hence the term Waterfront Farmers Market, up to Riverfront Park, up to downtown. And now with COVID, we're back in Riverfront Park, trying to adapt to everything. So one of the things that I want to do is basically talk a little bit about how we're involved with Harvest Connection. We're one of the farmers markets that's featured there. Many of our vendors that we have at our market are on the Harvest Connection site. And I'll show you a map later of our coverage, and you'll see it. There's a big overlap with what Harvest Connection does. One of the things that we do is that we're referring to our customers who call us with questions. We refer them to our vendors, to Harvest Connection. We do what the title is. We connect, and we try and push people to find out all they can about the local farmers. So that's how we get involved with it. And we were very pleased to be at the launch when it was launched out in Brunswick with the app, which is pretty exciting. It's on all of our market staff's phones. So people ask us questions about stuff we don't have at the market. We can quickly give them answers. So with that, I'm going to press the green button, share my screen. He hopes. This is the bit that I always mess up. Desktop. Why won't it allow me to share my entire screen? All it wants to let me do is hit cancel.
Steve,
There we go.
I had the same.
Nope, there we go.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
All right, so the Troy Waterfront Farmers Market, troymarket.org. This is where we're at right now in the winter. We are in Lansingburg. We have taken over the former Price Chopper and have turned it into a farmers market. Very strict requirements for masks, social distancing, lots of rules to get us there. And one of the things that I wanted to try and do is just see if this little video will play and you'll be able to hear it. So.
It seems to be going well. It's not too crowded. People are keeping their distance. Everyone's got their mask on. I hear there's a big line outside, but for the vendors, it's working out pretty well so far. Thank you. Getting out and being able to connect with people and see people and feed people feels really great. And I'm glad everyone's able to do it in a way that feels safe and responsible for everyone.
And, we like to deal with people, we do, stuff online, but, it's always great to see customers face to face, have a conversation, even though we have to stay a little distance away, it's still something we look forward to doing. We just do farmers markets and catering, so we don't have a restaurant. We rent out a commercial kitchen where we prep our food. This is only $7. I really like it, and we respect the regulations, and again, grateful to be here. I think it's great. I mean, I feel like at this point in time, everybody needs a little human interaction, and it's nice to be in a place where we're indoors. You're meeting new people. It's almost the holiday season. People are doing their holiday shopping. You could feel it in the air, so it's really nice. We just put it in a box. It's nice not fighting the weather, the wind, the rain. A warm place like this, well lit. A good place to try to get rid of some of your wares. It's a good idea. Everything's good. As far as regulations are concerned, it's great. COVID rules are good. Everything looks good. I think it's going to work out pretty good here.
So that's a quick take a tour of our market. Now, yeah, we do have a few vendors there that don't just cook food, but sell food. We have a wide variety of vendors in our market. So quickly going to show you our regional map. This is a Google map on our website. It allows us to highlight the various categories and the locations of all of our vendors. If you click on any of these vendors, you will find a link, a pop-up that tells you everything that's going on out there, where they are, what they've got, gives them a link to their website, and moves everybody around. So let's find Baunt. Laughing Earth, there we go. There they are. So that map turned out to be very helpful. This is interesting. So one of the things that we've done this winter and is to continue doing our online farmers market. And we started this in April last year. We went from having no online presence to 2 weeks later, having an online store with 50 vendors involved. We had over 200 customers come the first weekend, and now we're sort of at around about the 60 to 70 mark. Customers come, they get their vegetables, pick them up, drive up. We're there for about for 5 minutes, and we get all their stuff into their trunks. You sign up online. You can go and shop from the comfort of your living room and get your order in by Thursday night. Then you pick it up on the Sunday. A lot of our vendors that are in the market are there. Some of the vendors that decided they didn't want to come back for the time being are there. So we have a pretty good variety. And as I said, we started that right at the beginning, before we even were able to get back outside. So that's our online market. And then when you click into it and register, you get to go in, and you have, I thought I'd start with the desserts, seeing as it's about 8 o'clock. So lots of desserts that you can order online. We have a lot of different categories of products that you can get, and you can order this. And then you order like you're on any website. You just go around and shop, and there'll be a grocery cart at the end, and you check out. We get the emails go to the vendors pull it all together, and we aggregate it on Saturdays and deliver it out to your cars on Sunday mornings. So we have a lot of different vendors there. Here we go, a quick look down the list. And of course, just like the farmers market, what you've got there depends on what's in season. So right now we've got some good greens from the greenhouses. We've got some root crops. We got some apples left over, eggs. We got the dairy and other stuff and all the baked goods that are pretty much there all year round. So you will find all of your information you need about the market on our website. We have, as everybody does, our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. So we're pretty much out there in social media, and if you wish to find out more about it, you can click on the sign up button and sign up for our weekly newsletter, which will tell you all about the market and where we're at. So our plans going forward are to stay inside at Price Chopper until the end of March, and then in April we'll move back outside again downtown, and all of those updates will show up on Harvest Connection, so you'll be able to find us and find out what we're doing. You'll be able to look in there and find out where all our vendors are at, use our website to connect to the vendors, and really find out what the farming connections are across the Capital Region. So with that, I will stop my share and let you get on with the questions and talk to everybody.
Thank you so much, Steve. Does anyone have any questions for him? Does anyone have any last minute questions for me or for any of our presenters?
Kayla, I don't have a question for Steve because I sort of know a lot about what he does, but I just want to say that I have been ordering as a private person from the Sunday market for a while now, and it's so easy. It's really great because one of my favorite yogurts is from Argyle Cheese Farmer, and she has not been coming to the Saturday market, but I can still get it on Sundays. So it's really easy. I just click the buttons on the website, and then I show up on Sunday morning to Green Island, and Steve puts my produce and whatever else in the car, and I drive away. It's so easy. I really love it. And I see in the chat that Bernie asked me a question about pork. So can I just answer that?
Yep.
Okay. So Bernie asked, how long does it take from the time you farrow to when you harvest the pork? And we shoot for 6 months. It's usually five to 6 months from the time the baby pigs are born to the time they go to the butcher. And at that point, they're usually 200 pounds, about that. So thank you to all of you for contributing tonight. It's always nice to hear Steve talk about the market. It's something that's been very important to our farm.
Let's see. Love this program. We'll be doing this again with more of our wonderful farmers. So the Back to Home Basics program is a series of workshops. Hopefully more details about some of the future workshops will be coming out soon. We love the feedback, so we would love to reconvene and hopefully put another program highlighting some of our farmers again in the future as well.
Kayla, can I do a quick commercial for next Tuesday?
Yes, you can.
So we will be sending out next Tuesday. We're featuring actually the 5 secrets to successful sourdough, which sounds like a much more narrow topic. But we, our mission with all of these Back to Home Basics programs is to relate it back to our community and to local product. So even though you may be thinking just sourdough is a very specific topic, we'll be talking about breads in general. And lucky for us, we're going to have Amy Holleran, who's the author of The New Bread Basket, who is quite probably one of the most knowledgeable people perhaps in the country on local grains and weaving them into your diet, and in particular into breads. So I really do hope that you'll think about adding that to your calendar next Tuesday. And then we're working on the last session of our winter series, which will be 2 weeks from tonight, on a jerky project. So how you can make jerky at home. So that's what our remaining winter series looks like. So that's the plug. Keep an eye on your social media outlets and your email, because we'll be pestering you with links to sign up and more details.
Thanks, Bernie. Does anyone have any last minute questions for Annie, Val, Steve, even Bernie for the future programs, or myself? Checking the chat box. And again, if you guys think of anything later, you can reach out to myself or you can reach out to our presenters that were here tonight. So with that being said, and double checking the chat box and seeing no questions, thank you so much to all of you for coming to our program tonight. We love taking the opportunity to share with you guys local farmers and ways to connect you to local products. And again, thank you to Val, Steve, and Annie for presenting for us tonight. Always love working with you guys. And I hope everyone has a great afternoon. Sign up for the other Back to Home Basics programs, and hopefully I will see you guys for future programs. So have a good night, everyone.